Hello, my name is Gareth McLearnon and I'd like to explain to you in a short video the extended techniques that are required in my new piece, Single Yellow Line, which is written for Graded Flute Ensemble. Thank you for buying this piece I guess you'll probably be teaching it to other young flute players or older flute players or flute players of all different standards, which is kind of the point of the piece. It should be accessible to flute players whether they are sort of young and maybe around sort of like primary school, elementary school level, right up through high school, even university conservatoire players. So I'm going to explain to you the extended techniques that are necessary in this piece. So we have three. There's another video online where I've talked about the flute-wise theme. The flute-wise theme also has three extended techniques, and there's a little bit of overlap here, but we're using it in a slightly different way. So the first one is residual tone. This is one that we did come across in the flute-wise theme video, and well, I'll tell you what, I will read out what I've written. So this technique creates a violent tonal hiss that sounds a bit like the sound a bus or truck makes when it releases pressure from its air braking system. This effect is achieved by putting the embouchure into natural, unformed speech position, as opposed to the traditional, beautifully formed fluty embouchure that one would usually use to make a nice, clear flute tone. I find that the best way to make the best sound is to make a large cheesy grin, showing all your teeth, and thereby raising your cheekbones until your eyes are almost shut. You then direct this unfocused and diffuse airstream at the normal flute playing angle. Okay, so I shall demonstrate this. So this residual tone, so I grin, show all my teeth, raise my cheekbones, almost close my eyes, and we have this. So this is the regular residual tone, but in this piece we're using it like this air braking system release. So you'll hear it on a bus or in a truck as it's going by. You hear this psh noise, and so that's what we're going to use. We're going to use a tsh. So we're going to do. So it's quite tonal and hopefully quite effective. So next on the list is our explosive articulation. We have in this piece, we're going to use several different explosions from your mouth, explosions. Anyway, I'm going to read it out again because I've explained it here and I've thought about it, so I'm going to read it out. This is very similar to residual tone, using the same unformed embouchure. You shout, but without using your voice. So we're not employing our vocal cords. The syllable under the note. In this piece, the words utilised are varied. We've got cha, sha, ka, k, and chang. Again, by varying the airspeed and volume, this technique has an excellent wide dynamic spectrum. You might find that the actual sound between a cha and a chang, or a ka and a ka, those two, they mightn't sound that different, the effect that as it comes across, but it's more how it's thought of. A chang is a longer note in the head as we think about it. It's a longer, slightly more relaxed than a cha, which is obviously a lot more explosive. And like a ka has got it just feels a little bit more relaxed than a ka, and we have just a slightly different attack on that. So please do pay attention to those, although they might sound very similar. It's the feel that we want, and also because we're concentrating on having quite a specific feel for this music. So I will demonstrate each one of those. So sha, sha. Then we have ka, normally quite quiet. Then we have ka. Then we have k, which is a little, and then cha, probably the most aggressive one. And then we have chang. So yeah, they might sound a little bit similar, but in context, they're meant to sort of impart a certain feel to the rhythm, a certain feel to the music. So it is quite important to observe those and practice those. Lastly, we have shadow note heads. Now this is where on the music we're going to see just a stem, which is leading up to nothing at all. Where there normally would be a note, and the stem does stop where there would be normally be a note. We have nothing. We don't have a note head at all. So, and I shall read out again. This technique involves fingering the note to be shadowed. In the case illustrated in the performance notes, it's a middle A. And rather than making it a full, clear flute tone like you ordinarily would play, you instead choke the sound by giving it only a small kick of air with the backstroke of the tongue. So the backstroke of the tongue is when you double tongue, it's dugga 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 dugga, or tukka tukka tukka, whichever one you want to do. The backstroke is the k or the g sound. That's the k, k, k. So you just give it a little kick. And it says it's a little bit like explosive articulation, but it's played with a properly formed and fluty embouchure, so not the unformed one, and should sound like a dampened note on an electric guitar. So like when you hear an electric guitar and it's like jang 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 jang, all these like that's the noise that we're after. So I'm going to play it. So you know again it makes the note a little bit, well, quite a lot shorter. I'll play it straight first of all, and then I'll play it as a dampened note. Once again. And then I'm going to play it as a shadow note. So you get the idea. The shadow note is just a bit, so it's dang 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 dang. So we have a very different feel to what is normally traditionally expected. So thank you very much for watching and listening and hopefully trying. Hopefully that's made some sense to you. If it hasn't made sense, please do get in touch. My email address is appearing here somewhere. Here we are. There it is. And so you can get in touch with any questions and queries. And I'll try and help. I will try and help. But in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed playing this piece. Do try out my other pieces as well. So we've got Flute Wise theme, and we've also got my book Round Ireland with a Flute. Do try those as well. That'd be nice. And there is also a free download of a flute ensemble piece that was brand new and written. It's a fanfare, again covering all the abilities, all the way from almost absolute beginner, right up through to conservatoire sort of level, and everything in between as well. And that's free to download, and that's a fanfare. And I'll put a link here. I'll put a link here, so you can click this here, and you can download that. Okay, happy fluting.